Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a corporate lawyer in Chicago, and 5 years ago, I survived one of the most harrowing experiences a woman could face. No mother should ever have to endure what I did. Back then, I thought I had it all. At 34, I was on the fast track, crushing it at my law firm and newly promoted to partner. I just married Henry Curry, a charming pediatrician from one of Chicago's wealthiest families. Life seemed picture perfect, especially when I found out I was pregnant with our first child, a little girl we lovingly called G. "You're absolutely glowing, Sarah." My best friend Ella beamed during our weekly coffee date. As a nurse, she was thrilled to share in my journey. "I just wish Henry's mother would back off a little," I sighed. Yesterday, she insisted on redecorating the nursery because apparently, mint green isn't sophisticated enough for a Curry baby. "Has Henry said anything?" Ella asked, concern creeping into her voice. "You know how he is with Eleanor. Mom just wants the best for us, honey." I rolled my eyes. Sometimes I swear I married them both. Eleanor Curry was the queen of Chicago's social elite, all designer suits and charity galas. But beneath her polished exterior lay a knack for manipulation. The subtle digs started early. "Darling, are you sure you want to keep working?" "A Curry wife has never needed to," she'd say sweetly. Or, "Henry dear, Sarah looks so tired. Perhaps we should hire her a stylist." The only ally I had in the Curry family was Henry's sister, Alicia. During a family dinner, she pulled me aside, her voice low. "Watch yourself with Mom." She did the same thing to Brian's wife. Julie tried to stand her ground, but in the end, Brian always sided with Mom. It destroyed their marriage. After that, I started noticing it more. Henry would consult Eleanor about everything. My carefully planned birth preferences were quietly revised during our Sunday dinners. Dr. Phillips is one of the best OB-GYNs in Chicago. I protested when Eleanor suggested her friend, Dr. Patricia Wells. "Patricia comes from an excellent family," Eleanor purred. "She understands our standards." Henry nodded along without hesitation. Even my pregnancy announcement became a battlefield. I posted a simple, heartfelt message on social media, only for Eleanor to corner me. An announcement on Facebook, like some common event. "Really, Sarah?" she said, her voice dripping with disapproval. Henry stood silent as always. If I'd known what was coming, I might have run. But I kept believing that once the baby arrived, things would settle. I couldn't have been more wrong. "You've been so emotional lately," Henry said one night, echoing his mother's concern. "Maybe Mom's right about you needing help." I didn't realize their idea of help would lead to my worst nightmare. The night everything changed. 2 weeks before my due date, during dinner, I felt a sharp pain. "Henry, something's wrong. I think I'm in labor." I gasped, clutching my stomach. "Don't be dramatic, dear. It's probably Braxton Hicks," Eleanor said dismissively. But when my water broke moments later, even she couldn't deny it. At the hospital, I immediately sensed something was off. Instead of Dr. Phillips, a tall woman in pearls entered the room. "Sarah, this is Dr. Wells." "Mother arranged everything," Henry said, already signing forms. "No, I want Dr. Phillips. He knows my birth plan." I protested, but another contraction racked my body. "You're being irrational, sweetie. Patricia is more than qualified," Eleanor cooed, her condescension palpable. Through the pain, I heard whispers. "She's been increasingly unstable," Eleanor murmured, "refusing family traditions, concerning behavior." "Stop talking about me like I'm not here," I shouted, but Dr. Wells just scribbled in my chart. "Patient exhibiting signs of paranoia and aggression," she muttered under her breath. "Henry, please, this isn't what we planned." I begged. "Mom says this is best. You're not thinking clearly," he replied, his tone disturbingly calm. Then Alicia burst in. "Sarah, Ella's outside. They won't let her in." "What? She's my support person." I tried to reach for my phone, but Eleanor intercepted it smoothly. "You don't need outside interference, dear. Family only." "I think we need to calm her down," Dr. Wells said, preparing a syringe. "No, I don't want to be sedated. I want to be present for my baby's birth." "It's for your own good," Henry said, holding my arm as I struggled. "You can't do this. I don't consent." I screamed, but my voice was ignored. "Alicia, help me," I pleaded, tears streaming down my face. But she stood frozen, her own tears falling. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. The last thing I remembered before the sedative took hold was Eleanor's satisfied smile. "They're much better," she purred. "Now we can proceed properly." I drifted in and out of consciousness, catching fragmented conversations. "Such difficult behavior," one voice murmured. "Thank goodness we intervened," another chimed in. "The Curry name must be protected." When I finally stirred, a nurse was placing my daughter into Eleanor's arms. "Welcome to the world, little Gia Curry," Eleanor cooed. "Grandma will make sure you're raised properly." Through the haze, I saw Henry beaming at his mother, oblivious to me. My limbs felt leaden, and my voice was trapped in my throat. Then I noticed Alicia. Her hand slipped into her purse, retrieving something. Papers from my medical chart. Before I could process it, the darkness swallowed me again. That day, I lost more than my birth experience. I lost any illusion that Henry would ever choose me over his mother. But what Eleanor and Henry didn't realize was that their betrayal had awakened something in me, a resolve that would eventually bring their entire empire crashing down. The weeks after Gia's birth were a blur of postpartum depression and relentless surveillance. Eleanor practically moved in, criticizing my every move. "You're holding her wrong, Sarah. Honestly, haven't you read any parenting books?" Henry, as always, nodded along. But beneath my surface of submission, I was planning. "You need to see these," Alicia whispered one afternoon, sliding copies of my medical records across the table. My hands trembled as I read. The charts were falsified. Notes about my supposed aggressive behavior were time-stamped before I even arrived at the hospital. "They documented this in advance," I said, horrified. Ella texted later that night. "Dr. Wells has 3 pending medical board investigations for similar incidents. She's Eleanor's go-to for difficult situations." I started recording. During one of Eleanor's lavish dinner parties, I left my phone in my purse, set to capture everything. Sarah was completely out of control, Eleanor bragged. Thankfully, Patricia knew exactly what to do. Can't have a Curry baby born to some hysterical woman making a scene, just like that dreadful Catherine girl Henry dated in med school. Another voice chimed in. "Oh yes, she needed similar management." Thankfully, she left before things got too serious. That was my next lead. I found Catherine on LinkedIn, now a successful surgeon in Boston. Her reply to my message was immediate. "Eleanor destroyed my career prospects in Chicago, blacklisted me after I refused to know my place." As Henry's behavior worsened, he gaslit me at every turn. "You're imagining things again, Sarah. Mom was right about you needing professional help. Remember how crazy you were during labor? Good thing Mom was there." I played the perfect wife, but I met in secret with Dr. Lisa Leon, a trauma therapist Ella recommended. "Document everything," she advised. "Dates, times, witnesses. Build your case carefully." Sam Torres, my law school friend, reviewed the growing pile of evidence. "This is serious. Medical fraud, coercion, personal injury," he said, "but going legal could backfire. We need something airtight." Eleanor's home office became my next target. During one of her garden club meetings, I slipped inside and found what I needed. A locked drawer filled with documentation of her calculated destruction of Julie, Brian's ex-wife. Falsified medical records, reports of stress-induced injuries, even photos of bruises. "She keeps trophies," I whispered to Sam over the phone. "Careful," he warned. "Eleanor has powerful friends. One wrong move, and they'll crush you." I recorded Henry's drunken confession late one night. "Mom always knows best," he slurred. "She fixed things with Catherine too. You should be grateful." Every piece of evidence went into a secure cloud drive. Eleanor's bragging, Henry's confessions, Dr. Wells's falsified records, Julie's photos, Catherine's statement. "We're almost ready," Sam confirmed. One final push. I looked at Gia, sleeping peacefully. Eleanor was already planning her future, best schools, proper friends, a suitable marriage. "Not my daughter," I whispered. "You won't destroy her too." Gia's first birthday was the perfect cover. While Eleanor orchestrated a grand society party, I executed my escape. Everything I needed was already moved to a new apartment. When Henry left for his shift, I took Gia and disappeared. As Eleanor's guests arrived, Henry received a text. "Your mother won't be attending the party. Check your email." I sent the evidence to him, Eleanor, and their closest allies. Alicia had already submitted an anonymous tip to the medical board about Dr. Wells. Within hours, investigators seized her records. "Did you hear?" The whispers spread like wildfire. Dr. Wells is under investigation for medical fraud. Apparently, she was sedating women against their will. Eleanor Curry's involved. My carefully compiled evidence didn't just end up in court, it found its way into the hands of hospital administrators. Security footage showed Henry accessing patient records he had no business touching, prescribing medications without proper documentation. Dr. Curry, we need to discuss some irregularities in your practice, his chief of medicine said, the words carrying the weight of impending ruin. The scandal exploded. Eleanor's carefully curated world began to collapse. Her prestigious country club friends stopped returning her calls, her charity board positions evaporated, and the once revered queen of Chicago's social scene became a pariah. You manipulative bastard ******. Henry's voice snarled through my voicemail. You've ruined everything. But the evidence was irrefutable. His hospital privileges were suspended, pending a full investigation. In family court, his erratic behavior sealed his fate. Full custody granted to the mother, the judge declared, his gaze heavy with disapproval as he looked at Henry. Alicia later told me that Henry lost his medical license, not for what he did to me, but for writing fraudulent prescriptions during his downward spiral. 5 years later, 5 years have passed, and Gia is now a confident, joyful kindergartner, untouched by Eleanor's poison. My law practice, specializing in medical advocacy, thrives. Women seek me out, sharing stories that sound all too familiar. He's gaslighting me. His mother controls everything. The doctor is their friend, Jessica, my latest client, whispered, her voice trembling. Bruised and scared, she looked like I once did. They've taken everything, she choked out. No, I said firmly. They tried, but you're stronger than they know. Let me help you prove it. My phone buzzed, another text from Henry, begging to see Gia. Delete. Another invitation from Eleanor to reconcile. Delete. Mommy, look. Gia ran up, holding a drawing of 2 stick figures. It's us. No manipulative grandmother. No weak father. No toxic legacy. Just us. Perfect. I smiled. That's exactly who we are. The Curry name meant nothing now. Eleanor's empire was dust. Henry lost everything he valued. But Gia and I, we were thriving. I turned back to Jessica, ready to fight back. Her shoulders straightened, eyes hardening with determination. Ready. I opened my laptop, thinking of the countless women still trapped in similar situations. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about breaking the cycle, one case at a time. A question for you. This story was an experiment in exploring the dark realities of medical abuse and family betrayal. Now, I have a few questions for you. If you discovered that your spouse and their family had drugged you during one of your most vulnerable moments, like childbirth, how would you respond? Would you strike back hard and fast, or would you play the long game of calculated revenge like I did? And here's the tough part, would you feel guilty watching their complete downfall, knowing they brought it on themselves? There's a fine line between justice and revenge. Did I cross it? Was it wrong to feel satisfaction seeing Eleanor lose her status and Henry his license? Or did they deserve every bit of their karma? Share your thoughts in the comments.